Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Commodity Futures Report for Wednesday, November the 16th, starting with the yields here. So on the daily chart from the low here, we can look up as wave A and B and C, and that would be the top of it at that point and the end of it, and we would coming down deeper, but otherwise we'll look at it as 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. So we've been calling the top in here for quite some time now, as you may know, but yeah, it seems to be going okay. So we're looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here, then an ABC pattern, and what's that connected to? That's nothing. So yeah, some type of correction to pull back down here. You know, we're seeing figures and conversations talking about easing rates and so on, and so that's enough to bring this down, and we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if we can understand it as a corrective pattern. If it is corrective, a bullish pattern, then we'll be getting 5 waves up, and we'll be moving up to the 5% at that point. So, but wave 4s can be a little bit time consuming. This one was quite simple. It's pretty simple ABC, so we'll see how the cookie crumbles. And yeah, but at this stage, a 5-3-5 pattern that can actually pull back down here as well. So it might be, you know, things might look better, even more so. But anyway, we'll just you know, we called the top in, it's rolling over, everything's going according to plan. We're seeing CPI figures and all the other stories sort of fit that, and we're seeing support in the bond market, and I've got the bond market here on this weekly chart here, and I'm looking at it as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. You could probably use the top here as wave 1 here, and ABC for 2 here, and then a 3 and a 4 here, but it just doesn't sort of feel right to me. But it could possibly have a low in here as an ABC pattern, put it that way. So we'll just watch this move up, and you know, the bund for the European side is much the same as well. So we're seeing that support come in. You know, we're seeing the stock market support come in. How far will that go is the question, but for the time being, we'll continue to see those yields soften. Over to the spot gold here, and just on the daily chart here, but basically the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here for wave 4. Probably need to lift that up a degree of structure, but anyway, just in terms of the count, we're looking at 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, the fourth wave here as an A and a B and a C wave here, and then down for wave 5. Now the situation here is that it is possible to put a wave 5 low in here, but it didn't make a new low. It does count as 5 waves down here. It's a bit reluctant to do that in the bigger picture, but you know, we've just been counting up through here. So when this gets to the top here as 5 waves, anything above that, and then the market would be bullish at that point. But I think that do we look at the US dollar here? And that's what we should do now, is just look at the US dollar. So it's kind of interesting really that this is going up here, because if we look at the US dollar for a moment, I forgot to look at that first, but that's okay. So I won't go into the bigger picture here well, we should do from the top here. We can have wave 3 or wave 5, right? So I'm just trying to sort that out. What I do know in the interim here is that we had 5 waves down here, so we know that we'd get a correction at that point, and then we'd be down for another 5. So we've just been counting the way down. So from wave 2 here, we've got wave 1 and 2, a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave. And then 5 waves down here for the 5th wave, for wave 3. So now we're looking for wave 4, or wave 4 over here as a possibility as well. You know, wave 4s can get a bit sort of complicated. You can count that as 5 waves. So basically an ABC here, and then so an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave is possible. Otherwise, we'll just continue to build down here. But I'll need a bit more information to see if we get impulse waves coming in this space here. But the interesting thing here is that, I mean, this market scoots along pretty quickly. So, but the thing here is that once we got these 1, 2, 3, 4 here and down for 5, that will be the end of 5 waves. So we could have a low in here, or we could have a rally and then further down. But the fact that this rallies here in some way or another, right, after these 5 waves, that can put gold down at that point, you know. So we'll see how that hinges off each other at this point. But yes, we will look to go long if we get a classic trading levels pattern on the 1800, and that pattern looks like this here: the 1800, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC, and so on. That will be tested support on that level there. It takes a little while to work its way through that. It's a bit like this, coming down to here, the arrival, the reaction, the first low below the level, the retest, and then down to the next level. It's pretty big, but basically just migrating from one side to the other. But this side here, this turn will be much tighter at that point, so we'll see how that that turns. But the wave 4 here, of the coming back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2%, so we'll see how that goes at that point. I think we're on, I don't know if we're on 10k or 5k, I don't know what I've updated here, but we'll find it, the intraday chart. This is it here. Okay, so we've got wave 3 here with the A wave and ABC for the B wave, and then counting up here as 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, while the US dollar's doing its little wave 4 rally there. Well, not little, quite big really. It's going to hold this. Well, you can see that it's scooted along quite nicely in all of these, and now you can see that it's slowing down, can't you, with all of this more price action in here, and you know, so we're going to see more of that, and it'll get a bit complicated, but eventually we'll get that 5th wave up there, and your stocks, you know, gold stocks will be doing much the same. So look, this could be wave 1 up here, I don't know, but like I said, we'll need to get a classic trading levels pattern across this level to turn bullish. So this trend up here needs to be corrected. So don't go getting FOMO'd out here and stuff. So we need to get the other side of it. We can get the pullback, and then we can build any long trades or short trades on that, on the other side. Rightio. So silver. So we're also looking at this as a wave 3 here, and a bit of a complicated correction, but pretty much the same, but an A wave, an ABC for the B wave, and tracking 5 waves up here as well. So it's starting to really struggle at the moment up here. So you can see that, it, you know, with a trend from here to here in this thing here, there's the beginning, the building period, then there's the middle, which is the powerful point in the structure, and then there's the end. And with the end, it starts to creep along a little bit. You know that it's creeping because you start to see this structure here. It just sort of touched on this one, but this low here was below this top, and this one here is well below this top. So the market is creeping to the upside, so it's a sign of weakness. So we could have a top in here at any time, rather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, third, fourth, fifth. That's okay. So what have we got here? It's just really sort of weak here. I mean, we're still 1 wave short here, so I'm just going to chill on this a little bit and see how this. I might need to redo things, but there should be more upside. I'm just not sure how to count that. The penny hasn't dropped just yet, but it's certainly looking weak at this point. But another move, we should be getting to the upside. I don't know the best way to look at that at the moment. Let me just look at this again. 1, 2, 3, that's third. Oh, I could drop that down to here, of course, and then look at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not sure about that, sorry. Okay, over to the base metals: copper, lithium, uranium, and nickel. So we're seeing, well, they're all doing reasonably well actually, but copper and nickel are the ones that have scooted along quite nicely. Mind you, lithium stocks did the same here as well. So so I'm trying to I'm looking at wave 3 here and a wave 4 up here, but it's getting a little bit high up here for wave 4. So we're probably in a bullish market with wave 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2, and then and building up at this point. So that's how we've been sort of counting it. Yeah, I mean, different countries are starting to communicate with the big bad boy China, and hopefully all the kids can play nicely in the park together. So we'll see how that goes. But I can't really turn, this whole move up could be corrective. So what I need to do at the end of the day is I need to get wave 5 here for 3, and then 4 over here, and then I need to get wave 5 here for this, and that will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that will be helpful in that regard. So that if this could be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to that point, right? And that could be the end of it. But anything past that, then we could be bullish with a bit of confidence at that point. So that's the same for copper as well. Lithium's in its own sort of space. But yeah, I mean, all these, you know, copper, nickel, and lithium are all part of the green battery world in one way or another, you know. So anyway, that's the story. And yeah, so we've been counting up here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for third, fourth, fifth for third, fourth. Looks like a nice fourth wave, doesn't it? Pretty sort of, well. So we'll see. So it should push up. Obviously, this is the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave down here. I just don't know if that's 1 and 2 and 3 to here, and so forth. There may be another low in here. So just be a bit mindful of that if you're trading it, but buying new highs here would be fine, and really you want to just go to that 4 there and on the medium level and get out, because you know it's going to be smashed at that point. Over to the lithium. This is just on 1 tick, so it's a little bit tricky to see, to work out. So I'm just being sort of guessing about all of this. But the thing is, if we go to not that one, this one, go to the Aussie stocks here. I've got the lithium in here. We look at these in the Australian video. So this is SQM here, and yeah, this is from Chile and yada yada yada, but lithium does a few other little things. But yeah, I mean, it's got a really nice base. It should move up, and just trying to find support. This is this on the New York desk, by the way. So we're looking at this particular pattern through here. It's just trying to find support on top of the 300. That's really what it's doing. It's doing all the right things. So if you think of the classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. I think we're going to have another high up here, by the way, but and then an ABC. So look for that 5-wave move up there. LAC is another one. This one's not so crash hot. This one, there's better stocks than this one around. I like this one, PLL, that was given to me by some kind folks on the tube, but I like it a lot because I can see that all of this from this low here, all of this here is not an impulse wave to the downside. It's a corrective pattern here, and then I can see that this is an impulse wave here, and then this is a nice ABC pattern here. A little bit hard to track this on the intraday, this one, so I just sort of look at the outside of it, the A wave, the ABC for the B wave, 1 and 2, a nice drop for the third wave, the fourth and the fifth. Makes a beautiful ABC, so we should take out that top. We have taken out that top. So yeah, the next time, if you're not already in it, then the next time it finds support on the 65, which is the medium level. Medium levels are halfway between 2 major levels. Then you could look to get in on that. Some of the Australian stocks in the lithium space are just, you know, just cranking, really. So I won't go into all of these, but they're all like pretty sexy. So that's the lithium side of things, and uranium's chugging along. You know, it's a bit of a limited market. You know, I mean, Japan's got a fair whack of it, such. You know, uses a bit of it, and but yeah, look, it's doing all the same things. It's kind of following lithium a little bit in that. I mean, this is just an ETF as well, by the way, but you know, we've been waiting for, as you know, if you've been following this, then you know, we've been, you know, we counted this up here as 5 waves, and as possible, you know, impulse wave to the upside at that point, and didn't make a new low, but gave us 5 here as an A and a B and a C, so that's promising. And then we're just trying to confirm it by, you know, it's not the best looking 5 waves up here, but you know, we can go 1 and 2 and 3 here, and some complicated 4th in here, and then up for the 5th wave here. So we can get 5 waves out of it. Then we've got our ABC pattern here. We made a few mistakes, and you know, back on the road again, really. And we're moving up through Group 1. So yeah, I think that's going reasonably well in that regard. Nickel's back to its old habit back in the old days, not the old days, but over here. So we may be starting one of those again. So, but I do want to, you know, validate that. So I need to, you know, continue to work this trend. But from this low here that we've been working from as 1 and 2 here, and then I've put this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here. Now I might need to, you know, change that at some point, but I think it's going okay. Then we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but people got a bit excited, and then wave 4, and I haven't really pulled this apart here, but I'm just assuming we'll go for, I mean, I could go for, well, no, I can't. So anyway, I'll just get this. It's not going to go very far from this major trading level 3 here, right? So we'll look for that wave 4, and we'll nail that down for you. Yeah, we'll get some sort of, it'll spend a bit of time here, you know. It needs to develop it as support. So it's done its parabolic thing. What you see is not what you get next. So that will just play out here in a set of 4s and 5s, and yeah, but looking pretty good at this stage. So I think that I think we'll just move the wave 4 away from here at the moment, and we'll just put it over here. And I think we need to turn this into, I'll leave it there, but I'm just going to put this here now as wave 3 here, and that will give that a bit more dominance at that point. I don't think that's associated with that anymore, so I'll just leave this here. I'm going to pull this away. So we're going to start turning into a bit of a bullish move here, but it still could be a larger ABC to the upside. I mean, it's just a bit difficult to work with what, you know, all this, what happened over here. So I've sort of done my best with it, but it's a bit, you just can't see inside of this move here, you know. So it's probably wave 3 here and 4 here. That's what it probably is. So that's, you know, in hindsight, pretty easy. But so we'll look at that as wave 5 low, but, you know, this might just be a counter trend to this, you know. So, but I think that when you think about it a little bit, if that's wave 1 here and 2 here, and that's wave 1 and 2 here, then we're going to have wave 3 here, that will sit on top of this one. We can just use this as wave 4. So we still, whoops a daisy, we've still got a way to go with all of this in that regard. So we'll just make that wave 5. That will go up there, and that would give us an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up at that point. So that will be, we can trade this one up, we can, you know, get involved in some of this, but what we do need to do is look at, just while I'm here, I don't mean to be negative, I'm, you know, being constructive. Looking at the flip side is a positive thing, but we could also be, just put that in there as a wave 3 as well, and build a case to the upside, because, you know, the thing is that everybody's looking for these green metals now. So we could end up getting 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So we get 3, 4, 5 up here, 3, 4 and 5 to make wave 1, and then get an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave over here. And if we get these 5 waves here, that's very exciting for this situation over here for that. It may happen, it may not, but it's good to map them out and give them a little bit of thought, you know. But that's nickel. Just cleaning some of this up. Less objects on the chart, the better. I could use this up here, I think. Alrighty, well, that's nickel, and Okay, we're over to crude oil now, and so this is a daily chart for crude, and we've been looking at down as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. Didn't quite get down to target area here. It's a bit of a rough journey, but we can count it as 5 waves as an ending diagonal here at the end of it. And we've just been watching it. You know, we've had this, we can go to the intraday in a minute, but we've basically had this as wave 1, and then we've looked at this being wave 2 to here, and then we realized that, well, that's not going very well. Maybe we can look over here as an A and a B and a C here, and now we've gotten further moved down. So that's left it in a bit of a tricky spot here now. So the only other way I can see us doing this here is, because if I look at this as wave 1 with an A wave and a B wave here, then this would have to be 1 and 2 here, and then this would have to be, this would be 1 and 2, and this would be 1 and 2 here, and this would be 3, 4 and 5 here just for the third wave, and then there would be the fourth wave, and then there would be the fifth wave here. So we're getting quite low over at that point to get that in there. Do you know, we can do that. We could also look at it in terms of, it's good to talk about it and break it down, you know. So we could also look at this as wave 1 up here, and then this here is an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for wave 2. So this is okay as a wave 2 as long as that low stays in place. Okay, I'm trying to be positive about this and make it look like it's sort of going up, but you know, I understand that you know, you can only push something so far. The other side to all of this is that, well, what about if we've made a mistake in here? Well, the most logical mistake in here would be looking at, leave that as 1 and 2, but looking at all the rest of this here as all of wave 3 and putting wave 4 over here, and then looking for wave 5 to come down a bit lower than this, back into this area here. I mean, I can see how you can get 5 waves out of here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yes, there's overlap there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's kind of there, but it's not, you know, it's even this first wave up here is an impulse wave. You know, I've never really been that happy with it, as you know, you've heard me whinge about it before. It's just yeah, it just doesn't really sort of give me that. It gives me more like a 5 wave A wave rather than a 5 wave wave 1, so to speak. And the fact that this is getting so big over here now, I think we're grasping at straws at this point. You know, I think it's going to come down further, but let's just go to the 5K here where we've been chatting about it, but I just thought it'd be better to have a look at the bigger picture here because all this is a bit messy. So I won't go into all of this situation here, but yeah, so this 5 wave structure here, there's 2 different ways to count it to the upside. Haven't been really happy with either of them, but it counted down as an ending diagonal here quite well, and so we've played with it, but it's just not getting up there. So we can look at it as wave 1 here, and I'll just copy that and bring that across here as a wave 2 and ABC. Quite a nice wave 2, really, in terms of proportion for this side to this side. You know, that's all good. This is a wave 1 here of this degree. Yeah, it can be bigger than this one, but and we can get 5 waves out of it. We can count it as corrective as well. So it's all a little bit iffy. As far as this goes, we could look at this as don't need these here anymore. We could look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for wave 2. But if this low gets breached now, then I'd have to say it's pretty much over at that point. You know, like I said, we could look at it as a wave C down here, but the trouble with that, you know, it's an A wave here in blue, a B wave up here, and a C wave down here. It just means that, you know, just we'd have to look at that as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and wave 3 would be down here somewhere, because we would need this. Will basically, this becomes wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then wave 3 would have to come down here somewhere, you know, in some sort of proportion to that wave, first wave here. So then this would be here, so it'd be something like that. Do you know what I mean? and then this will be down here, and then, you know, we're way back down here at that point, you know. You know, the fact that it didn't find support here, I can give it some space, but because it's all about this number, that's the front line for this, you know. Look, we'll see. If we're going to be positive here, let's just pretend to be positive. Let's just assume for a moment this market pushes up here, right? If it pushes up here, then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. You don't need to do anything at that point because there'll be some sort of corrective move back again as an ABC, and then there'll be another move up. You'll be positive at that point, you know. So just understand this here, I guess that's the main thing. But currently that would be like 3 waves up at this point. So anything under that little low there would be to the downside. Okay, so that's that. I did want to have a look at just sugar, and I'll go through the commodity chart. Sugar just grabbed my attention. I haven't seen it for a while, but it is making a bit of a move to the upside. It probably will do something like this: get the first high above the level, and then have a correction back again at that point. And then we'll keep an eye on it, because this side over here will be where we want to trade with it. I mean, of course, it won't go too far up here. It'll come up to like 22 or 23 up here into group 1, but this is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC. So that's what's happening here. We've got the arrival, the reaction. Now we're in this leg here, right? So 22, 23 up here, then we'll have this. So I'll keep an eye on it, because if we're going to get a setup over here, that would be a really nice run at that point. We'll see. But anyway, I just wanted to update on that. The soybeans not doing much. So over to gas. So I won't go to the bigger picture, but look, as you know, we've been talking about this being corrective and so on, and we had an impulse wave. We can count that in 5 waves down here. We did look at it as wave 1 here, and we can still do that, and we can put wave 2 there, and we can still do that because that was a nice ABC pattern here. And we could put this here as wave 1, and we could put the, because we were also looking for wave 2 here, went a little bit higher than expected. So then we'll have to look at this as wave 1 to the downside. Doesn't count very nicely as wave 1, but if you're going to short it, because we talked about shorting it under here, but now you can short it under this one here if you wanted to short it, if the whole thing was going to break down, you know. Apart from that, we also talked about the triangle pattern, because that's, you know, I mean, it's what it is. Basically, well, sort of getting there, isn't it? So we've had this as the A, the B, and the C, but the reality is that all of this here would become the A wave over here. This would become the B wave. So an A, B, C for the B wave, an A and a B and a C up here for the C wave, then an A, B, C for the D wave, and A, B, C for wave E here, and then come down. Because this is corrective here, right? Because it's corrective, at some point in the future we'll be taking that low out. This may not be a wave 4, by the way. It could be some sort of wave B and go a bit higher. But as far as this goes at the moment, we should be heading higher. This, I mean, we could be 5 waves down, but there'd have to be wave 1 and 2 here. This is all 5 waves here, so all of this here. So we could have it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, a bit high for 4 and then down for 5 here. It doesn't count very well at all, but you can short under that. You could probably short under this one here as well. Let me have a little look in here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, probably. So that you could short that under there if you wanted to, but I'll just get half a position there, and there'll be a bounce off the 6,000, of course. So that's not going to be very helpful, shorting it right there on the low and get a bounce. But if it was going to come down like a ball bouncing, it's the first bounce is the highest, and the next one, and then the next one, and you know, kind of peters out and drops down at that point. But I won't put that there. So yeah, look, it could be 1 and 2 or 1 and 2. This just doesn't look very good as 1 and 2 here. So the next thing here would be looking. It's sitting on $6. The levels are the $5 is the major trading level, and then we've got $8, and the halfway between that is the 650, which is the medium level here, and you can see that it's you see that it's important. And then the next important numbers are 6 and 7. So basically, with the levels, understanding price and the pecking order of strength and weakness is that, yes, well, 6 is important and 7 is important, but I always find 6 and 7, they're the ones that create the tops and the bottoms of things, all right? But it's the 650 here that becomes the balance of all of that. And that's what I find important to trade with, So like if this, I wouldn't be doing anything myself in here, but I would be looking at the simple point that, well, this looks pretty corrective to me, so that means that low is going to be taken out. Okay, so next step is that, well, we could be in a triangle or some other sort of thing here. So we could be, we're either going to drop down through here and we need to be short under this, or this is going to drift sideways. So if it's going to drift sideways, I'll be thinking to myself, well, okay, with all corrections, I just find the balance point with them. I try to find, starting at the thing here and find out, okay, well, there's the 50% at this point, and that's the 61.8%. So this here at the moment is, this is the, this is upside down, of course, but that's the 50, 60, that's the balance line through this correction. So in one way or another, it's going to follow itself across here, and then we could refine that by using the 650 there, so we don't need that at that point. So we know that's going to be the balance line. And this is going to be corrective, and it's still going to go sideways over here. Well, we don't want to get involved in that, because we'll only, there's the risk reward factor is just not there for that. But when it comes over here, and then we start to think, okay, well, it's really matured now, it's way over here, all this is way over here, so we need to look for the short trade. Well, then you would use this number here. You would find that, because it will balance out, what triangles are like, they just sort of, diminish into a particular price point or a point, and in this case it will be this number here, and we can take it from that point. So yeah, look, I don't think there's much to do here unless it breaks one of these lows here. Otherwise you can expect it to move up, and sure, you can look to do that, trade it to the upside. If you're going to go long here, you'll need to leave the stop under the under this low here, but you might be able to get it a bit closer. Let's just check on that. It's not that clear. This is 1 2 3 4 5 here, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 and 2. I'm not sure about all of this here, so you could probably leave the stop under here. It's about, well, you could probably get to this point too, really, but this looks a bit impulsive to the downside here as well. So that's, but the good news here, when talking about the levels from 6,000, and you got 100, 200, and 300 of group 1 here. So the top of getting support on top of group 1, the next number is, is the medium level up here for this. So not a lot, like I say, there's never going to be a lot of room in all of this, But getting support here, taking that top out here, then it will take you to that level, take you to the next number. Because what it's done here is tested it. There might be another test because it looks a little bit impulsive, but it's, when it's arrived up here, it's trying to find a self-support, and it takes a while to do it, So we could end up with something like this, and then another shot on here, and so on. But yeah, I don't see any sort of trend here for this at the moment, so I will just leave it be at the moment, and we don't want to poke it with a stick. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.